I hop in the 1-2 game here at Rounders, in for $300. The first hand we look down is Jack 10 from under the gun. I limp, everyone else folds but the button, he makes it $12. Big blind calls and so do I. 3 ways to a flop comes Jack 4-5, 2 clubs. Big blind checks, I lead out for $15. Button doesn't think that's enough. He makes it $60. Big blind finds a fold here. I'm not going anywhere having top pair. I call the extra $45 and we're heads up to a turn. The turn comes at 10 of clubs. We improve to top 2, but there's a flush now on board. I check it over to him. He bets $100. We aren't really too worried about the flush here since he re-raised us on the flop. He has all the ace jack, king jacks in his range. We do have the jack of clubs in our hand. Any club, any jack, any 10 improves our hand, so I end up putting in the call. Let me know down in the comments if you would be putting in this call here, but we're off to a river. The river comes at 10 of spades. See! We fill up on the river. If we were behind on the turn, somehow we have certainly caught up now. I go all in, since it's only appropriate that we go all in our very first hand of the vlog, since my channel's name is Marsh All In. So that's what we do here. We put in the rest of our stack, 133 effective in the middle, hoping he does put in the call. Unfortunately, that's not what he does here. He finds a fold and we scoop that $489 pot. With close to $500 in our stack, the next hand we look down is ace queen from the button. Under the gun makes it $15. Middle position and middle position +1 put in the call. I 3-bet to $35. The price of poker to play with us just went up. However, they all put in the extra $20 and we're 4 ways into a flop. In position comes king 3-5, 2 spades. Early position thinks this is a good flop for him to go all in for $145. Middle position calls, and middle position +2 and I both find a fold. The run out comes a jack and a 6. It's showtime. Under the gun shows king 9 off for top pair, and middle position shows a flopped set of 3s. He scoops that pot. On to the next hand. Stack at 422, we look down at pocket 3s from middle position. Middle position +2 makes it $20. The button calls, comes back to me and I put in the call. 3 ways to a flop comes 7, deuce, 6, rainbow. We don't flop our set here, but we do have a gut shot for the straight. I'm first to act. I check, middle position +2 and the button check behind. The turn comes a 4 of spades. Good card to see, but if we want to improve our hand, we're going to have to see a 5 on the river to complete our straight. I bet $35 and only the button makes the call. Heads up to a river comes the miracle 5 of spades. See! We get there on the river. We do, however, have the lower end of the straight. Any 8 can beat us, so we do have to proceed with caution. The button ends up acting out of position, betting $60. I haven't acted yet, but we see this and check it over to her. She continues with her bet. We think of check raising her here with our straight, but with the off chance of her having an 8, we end up just flatting her $60, showing our pocket 3s, hoping to be good here. She shows king 3 of clubs, and we end up chopping that pot. Stack at 452. We look down at king 10 of spades from the button position. 6 of us limp. I like a raise here most of the time with our specific hand in position, but that's not what we do in the moment. We're off 6 way to a flop, and the flop comes king 4-5, 2 clubs. Action checks to me. I bet $11 into a $12 pot. Small blind 3 bets us to $100. Folds back to me. $89 more for us to call. Having top pair here, I put in the call, hoping not to see a club on the turn. He shoves for $58 before we even see a turn. Turn comes a queen of spades. I don't think about it for too long before I put in the call. Asks us if we want to run it twice. I agree to it. The opponent shows ace king. We can only see a 10 on either river to chop. Everything else plays for him. The first river comes a 3 of clubs. Second river comes a 9 of spades. We don't get half of the pot or any of it, in fact, and he scoops that $328 pot. On to the next hand. Stack at 285, we look down at 10 jack from cutoff. 5 of us limp. We probably should be raising here in position, but that's not what we do. We're 5 ways to a flop, which comes queen 9-6 rainbow. Good flop for us given that I'm open-ended. When it checks all the way to me, I bet $10 into a $10 pot. Just looking to build the pot here, but that's when the button makes it $50. Middle position calls and I call. making it 3 ways to the turn, which comes another 6, carrying the board. When middle position checks it to me, it's time for us to try to pull off the first bluff of the vlog. I bet $75. They are both believers. Both of them fold their hands, and I turn it over, showing the table that we're not afraid to bluff here. We take down that $235 pot. Stacked now at 385, we look down at king 10 from cutoff. Button straddles for $5. Action is on early position, she calls. Folding all the way to me, I put in the call and the button checks behind. 3 ways to a flop, which comes 10 deuce 10. See, we flop trips, baby. Early position checks it over to me. I check behind for deception. Button also checks. Turn comes a 3 of clubs. Early position now leads out for $20. I call and the button gets out of the way. Heads up to a river comes a 7 of clubs. She bets 75 into a pot of 56. With no flush or straight on board, I re-raise her to 175. It's going to cost her $100 more if she wants to see it. She doesn't think about it for too long before putting in the call. The opponent shows jack 10 off. That's no good. Our kicker plays. We take down that juicy $406 pot. Did you guys just catch that? First vlog and we're already getting flipped off. The opponent wiggles her tiny middle finger, telling us to take a picture of it. While we're trying to get footage of the board, we blow her a big old kiss and tell her that her chips look better in our stack. Stay mad and we're gonna move on to the next hand. Stacked now at 620, we look down at ace queen of clubs from middle position. Wolfgang from under the gun opens for $15. I call, so does the cutoff, the button, and the big blind. 5 ways to a flop with $75 in the pot. Comes 10, 5, 10. Action checks around. The turn comes a 5. Double paired board now. Checks around for a second time. The river brings in the queen of diamonds. We finally connect with something on the board. Big blind bets $20. Wolfgang raises it to 60. I call, cutoff, and the button fold. The big blind puts in the extra $40. Off to a showdown. Wolf shows our exact hand. We think we're going to chop until the big blind shows 5, 6 off, and he scoops that $255 pot.
Wolf, play this hand with me.
Stacked now at 515. We look down at Wolfgang's favorite hand, pocket sevens, while he's sitting next to me.
Limping.
Dude, I'm not limping.
Okay, fine.
If you want to play with me, the price of poker this one up.
Wolfgang makes it $12 and only I call. Heads up with our good friend. The flop comes king, king, ace. Action checks. I suspect he has a king in his hand when he checks it here. The turn comes a 7. See! What a card to catch there. We fill up on the turn. Wolfgang checks for a second time. I bet $20 and he calls. River comes another ace. The worst river we can possibly see here. He checks. I bet 75, turning my hand into a semi-bluff, representing that I have an ace if he has a king. That's not the case. He calls a 75 and he shows ace 3 for a rivered boat. I show him his favorite hand, which is no good here. He takes that big one down. I guess you can't beat the wolf with his own hand, but we'll get him next time. Wolf 1, Marsh 0. I guess it wasn't recording for the first part of this hand, but our stack is at 400. We add on for 300 more since you can buy in or add on to up to 70% of the chip leader stack here at Rounders, bringing our total stack to 700 now. We look down at 10 jack from middle position +1. I raise it to 15, hijack, cutoff, and the button all call. 4 ways to a flop comes ace king 7, rainbow. We have a pretty big up and down straight draw. Action checks around, and the turn brings in the queen of spades. I have the nuts. I'm first to act. I check it for deception, even though I think we should be betting here with 2 spades on board. Hijack leads for 75, cutoff folds, and the button calls. I check raise them to 200. If one of them has a flush draw, we are going to charge them more to see a river. However, they both find a fold here, and we take down that $413 pot. Last hand of the session, our stack is at 990 and we look down at ace king of clubs from the button. Middle position makes it $20, middle position +1, and middle position +2 make the call. Folds over to me, I 3-bet to 75, folds back to middle position and he shoves for 268. I put in the call and he shows pocket queens, classic flip. The action is now closed and we're off to a flop. The flop comes 3 Jack 9, 2 clubs. Great flop for us since we just gained 9 more outs, including the previous ones, an ace or a king. Any club on the turn or river gives us the nuts. The turn comes in 8, not a turn we want to see, but we're off to a river. The river brings in the king of spades. See! We end the session by scooping that $524 pot. We rack our chips up, and it's time for us to head to the cage.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to my first ever outro for this channel. We just got done with our first session here at Rounders with my buddy Wolfgang. What's up? We were in for 700 tonight. We just cashed out 1200. We hit a few hands. We kind of crushed it here at Rounders. We're definitely going to be back here tomorrow. Definitely check it out. And if you haven't yet, hit a like. That's right, baby. Listen to Wolfgang. Alright, later guys.